Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We've got the final game, FXOSheth, spawning this time over in the 9 o'clock position against Root KiwiKaKi over in the 3. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Anaris. Probably should have had that at the beginning, but that's okay, because these guys are awesome players. If you haven't already checked it out, game number 1, game number 2, both of them already up, good to go from MLG Columbus, as well as many other games up on my YouTube channel. If you want to be notified of continued coverage of that, make sure you actually hit that subscribe button above this video or wherever it happens to go. I don't know, gravity may cause it to shift over to, like, I don't know, Jupiter or something. But on to more important issues. Now, I asked you in Get Question in game number 1, and it is in this video that I demand an answer. And it is for the sake of the integrity of my cat and everybody involved, all parties, you must leave an answer in the comment section down below. I will not ask again, so if you haven't seen the video number 1, make sure you go check that out. It's a very important question. FXOSheth spawning over here in the 9 o'clock. These guys are spawning cross positions as designated by the MLG version of the map. So we'll actually have a pretty fun game here today as Sheth opening up with that conservative play. Talked about earlier, I believe, in game number 1, where open up with the extractor first, get that spawning pool in a little bit, and then go ahead and transition, take your expansion right down here. Reason being, you'll have that, you'll have those zerglings running around, you'll have the speed upgrade on the way, and you can deal with this pesky probe, which you can see KiwiKaKi is indeed going to park right there. He knows the score, he knows what's up, so he's not really expecting a lot in the way of aggression down here, because again, that's just part of the build for the first little bit. Probe is going to be okay down there. So the drone is obviously going to be coming down and attacking. Maybe not. Last second save there for the probe. As you see, he is just going to continue to park there, refueling, eating a sandwich, doing whatever that probe wants to do. As KiwiKaKi, you can see he's going ahead with the wall off right now. Not actually getting a zealot just yet. 19 supply. Let's see if he's actually going to drop that. No, just continuing to probe up. He is getting that second extractor though. As he's sitting, starting to bounce towards the 100 mark. There we go. There's that zealot. There's that zealot. So, actually, you know, it's funny. I just want to touch base on this map real quick. Shadow Temple. Most of you are familiar with the Lost Temple. And, okay, there's Sheth coming out the Zerglings. On time, on schedule. There we go. There's the hatchery and profit. The nice things about the Shattered Temple is compared to the Lost Temple, the removal of the cliff right here. That's oh so nice. You don't have to worry about things firing at you from all different angles up there at the top, and you can't do a darn thing about it. Instead, they have a more accessible expansion up here in the top and the bottom. And speaking of accessibility, I think these Zerglings are going to find there's not too much waiting for them up here. Of course, he's going to run up there, scout it out, see, all right, Zealot's in position. Maybe he can bait it out by attacking the gateway for a second. But it's very likely Sheth knows that whatever's going to come out of that gateway next is going to be a ranged unit. So sure enough, there we go, quickly pulling that force back and probably just heading back, maybe control the watchtower. Keep an eye on expansions, which it looks like that's actually what those two Zerglings are going to do right there. Watch the natural, so that way he at least, he may not necessarily be able to stop the expansion, considering KiwiKaKi will likely move out with some of his forces, but he will be notified of said expansion. And, of course, if he sends out a probe only, well, that's easy pickings for two Zerglings. Sheth's expansion is now complete. There we go. So he is going to be able to send over a couple drones here whenever he darn well pleases. Certainly is looking to continue onward here. Roachworn going down right as soon as that expansion has popped. Also, about the same time that that happened, he transferred some drones back over to gas there. So you're going to start to see that tick up. Of course, he only needed that 100 gas initially to get that metabolic boost upgrade. And now that he's got that, well, hey, profit. That's we'll skip the question marks and go straight to profit. So with the Roachworn going down, I think Roach is a very good early defensive unit. Good thing to have in case maybe KiwiKaKi decides to push out here. I say that because we can obviously see up here that, alright, 1 gateway, 2 gateways, and 3 gateways. So not going to be any sort of super early attack. But he is bringing in plenty of sentries here. This means he's going to be saving those minerals for something else, dumping the gas, and he may decide to go up with a little pressure, but you look at his money, he's sitting on 400 right now, bordering That's just hanging out right there. He may, yeah, it looks like he may actually decide to go and do an attack. Well, you know, I have to say for KiwiKaKi, it would be a good time to do so, because you see he's actually got a nice little position proxy pylon, not proxy, but pylon down there at the edge of his base. Going to allow him to warp in those units pretty close. Also, the probe coming over, going to be able to drop another pylon very close. And this is going to buy some time for his expansion to go down. Of course, Sheth does have the Overlord here, so he'll be able to spot that without too much difficulty. And Sheth with the Zerglings running around way across the map. Uh-oh. KiwiKaKi with a possible force field spam here at the bottom of the ramp. Going to keep a few of those units away. But we hear actually those Zerglings running around, and KiwiKaKi's kind of an awkward position right now. Roaches and the Queens over there on the left, Zerglings on the right. Should he defend his base, fall back, or should he try to press the attack? Right now, we see actually it's going to look like he is making the right call and falling back as the Zerglings looking for a retaliatory strike. Oh, very nicely handled there. As, whoa, water just spilled all over me. I have no idea what that is. Wow, look at those force fields actually capturing a good number of those Zerglings. Very, very crazy indeed. Oh, it's my cat! My cat drank some water and then shook his paw at me. Daggone it. I hate it when that happens. It always freaks me out. I'm looking at the ceiling like, what is going on here? But no, on a more serious note, hallucination, robotics facility, you guys can see what all's going down there. He was able to defend his expansion long enough to get that popped up going and start producing a few additional units here to defend it. Plenty of probes transferring over there as well. I do like the fact that KiwiKaKi threw down literally the last second a Zealot that was able to stop the Zerglings from running Impa into the main base. Very, very nice timing on that. Just a very nick of time. And Sheth is continuing on with a macro. We can see he's also trying to maybe look and see if he can poke his way in there. He's got plenty of roaches, and we probably expect to see KiwiKaKi start dropping a few structures here and maybe trying to wall this off a tiny bit. No, he's going to cancel it, thinking that there's going to have an attack here soon. So he canceled it. He got a little bit extra money back, tried to warp in a couple extra units to deal with this, and look at those force fields. Perfect placement, able to isolate the roaches from the rest of his friends there, the Zerglings, and now going to be defeated. Really, KiwiKaKi didn't have too much of a hard time dealing with that attack, as Sheth is going to have to pull back here and back up 40 and punt. I mean, hey, why not? He is definitely sitting with a slight, ever so slight, economic advantage there. Just a couple drones up on his opponent, and you see he's also got a little bit more gas coming in as well. Not that huge of an issue, though. That can obviously be rectified in the coming minutes. And now KiwiKaKi is going ahead with that wall I was talking about. Sure enough, this is pretty much what you would expect to see when you got a whole bunch of Zerglings and roaches running around. You want to have that wall there. When that forge is complete, you want to maybe have a cannon, mainly for the stealth detection. If you don't have an observer floating around somewhere, you obviously don't want any roaches sneaking by your defenses there. Definitely never a good thing. So that, well, sure enough, there we go, cannon and an observer. Observer, of course, more likely going to be used just to send over and continue scouting. Sheth, of course, doing a little bit of scouting of his own. He has the Zerglings over here trying to take out this set of destructible rocks. Maybe anticipating an expansion right here, although he's going to see with that Overlord. Nope, no expansion there. Combined with the fact that he spotted those Zealots and sentries attacking the rocks there on the way. That, oh, one Zergling. Yeah, poor little Zergling getting taken out super quick. Just drawing the attention for a brief moment of KiwiKaKi. Oh man, look at this race. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I think the Protoss is going to win. Yeah, definitely won that one. Still 400 health left on those rocks. As KiwiKaKi doing a pretty good job of establishing some map control there, at least vision we could see just from his point of view there. He's spread some creep over here in this expansion. Of course, the probe here, nice timing on that. Very nicely done by Sheth. Stop that expansion from going down, at least for a little while. And one Stalker being sent up there to deal with it. He's going to have to pull that back or bring in some forces because those Zerglings can actually take that Stalker out. So we're seeing now KiwiKaKi able to deal with that, not too much trouble. And Sheth over here, all the while, he's just been building up his own forces. You see he had a bunch of Hydras coming in, and a bunch of Roaches, rather. See, still 10 of them being built as we speak. 149 to 104. Ooh, the extended Thermal Lance upgrade coming, and Weapons 1 as well. So this Colossi can be very, very long-ranged and very powerful. And those Zealots, it's a dance party, man. Alright, that's going to be it. I obviously cannot sing or dance here. But what I can tell you is that with the inclusion of this high-yield expansion, it's going to give KiwiKaKi a much-needed boost. I say that because as that unit just saw a second or two ago, KiwiKaKi does indeed have that expansion right here at the high yield. So we can actually look at the income right now and see Sheth definitely has a clear mineral advantage, 71 to 59 here. And he's also doing a pretty good job of scouting out as well. He knows that an expansion just went down here a second or two ago, so that's pretty up-to-date information. He also knows the unit composition. He's trying to adjust his own build accordingly. Also, he's got the Spire on the way, so some Corruptors be very strong against the Colossi. Or should I say Colossus right now as the only number in the single, well, the single. It's one. Soon to have two in a second there. All right, there's the second one popping out just a second or two ago. So plenty of gateways up here. Everything's looking alright for the Protoss player, as I hear a Zealot attacking something. Okay, a couple of Zerglings just running around, not doing any serious damage, but still, nonetheless, there's that wall. You can see it's now completed for KiwiKaKi, able to defend it rather easily. A couple different points. He has a fallback point right here, right here, right here. So shouldn't have any run-bys for KiwiKaKi. He's already shown that he is very quick on the draw. Sheth finally moving out. Look at that, 187. He's sitting at about 1,000 minerals right now, 400 gas, so definitely a good spot. He's going to be able to reproduce that army without too much difficulty, especially with the income from this right here, man. I mean, he's doing a really good job of keeping his money down, considering that just how much of it he actually has coming and will have come in just a moment or two. Oh, you poor Zergling! No, wrong way! Oh, man, I sure hope that was not Eddie, as the Protoss gets ready to move towards the middle of the map. What will Sheth do here? What are his options? Well, he can continue to just macro up. I mean, that's pretty much a given. And his army composition right now, I'd say it's good. It is definitely... definitely could use a little bit in the way of something to deal with the... Well, it certainly could use something to deal with the fact that the Protoss army caught the Zerg player while the army is, for the Sheth, is way over here at the top. I was going to say it could use a little bit more in the way of dealing with that Colossi, which now you can see number in 3. Force fields going down, kind of limit the flow ability of Sheth to move across the map, and further reducing that there, actually bringing him to almost a complete stop, allowing KiwiKaKi to get a couple free shots off on the Overlords, a couple on the Corruptors, and establish himself in a wider open area right here. 4th Colossus on the way, so now total of 4 Colossi here on the field, doing tons of AoE damage. Oh, wow, look at that. One of the Colossi actually got kind of left behind there for a second, as the Zerg player is pushing back. 2 of them are now dead. The Corruptors are hidden in there, actually, in the Overlords. And really, there's not a lot that KiwiKaKi can do about it. And now you see he's actually splitting them up. But look at this, all the Overlords going down. It is going to cause Sheth to be a little bit supply blocked right now, so that's definitely not a good thing. KiwiKaKi falling back to that wall spot we were talking about earlier. Very, very easy for him to defend right there. Combine that with the fact that he has the blink ability, and it's no problem. There really wasn't going to be a way that the Zerg player could bust through that. Maybe just taking down some of these structures, suiciding. But hey, I mean, he is supply blocked right now, and he does not want to be going and throwing away what army he does have right now until he at least gets some of those Overlords back up. So there we go, maybe ticking off another unit or two. But this time we have Infestors in the field. Infestors are going to be instrumental in stopping that pesky blinking ability that KiwiKaKi has been using so far. Obviously, with the additional damage it does to fungal growth, very good thing as well. You see he is shifting his focus to pretty much just, well, not really shifting, but staying with the Stalkers. With all the Corruptors running around, it's clear that he's not really going to be able to do anything about defending his Colossi. Of course, the Stalkers can indeed do a lot of damage to those Corruptors, but the problem is he's got all those roaches wandering around. Definitely has to do something about that first, and he needs to have a separate way to neutralize the anti-air without forcing the Stalkers to be constantly trying to chase those Corruptors around. When really, once the Colossi are out of the picture, then it's not a huge deal anyways. KiwiKaKi trying to take the expansion down here. Obviously, Sheth knows about it. Might expect to see him try to do an attack on that soon. I do not know. We obviously have a couple Zerglings coming down here. 2 of them dying in that little pool of blood right there. Not too much more to it than that right now. We can actually just look at the units lost and see 6 workers. So Sheth off 6 of those. Look at that. Protoss killed 138 units to 69. And, ooh, Greater Spire just started a second ago. As far as actual units lost, 142 to 170 or to 70. And here we go. Protoss actually trying to force another engagement in the middle of the map and maybe get some Overlord kills. Sheth is at 196 though to 149, so KiwiKaKi is going to have a little bit of a difficult position right here. He could try to maybe engage right there with the choke point, but not the best spot. Combined with the force fields though, I think this actually could be a defensible position. And nice blink right there, picking off, again, more of those forces. This has just gone back and forth in the middle of the map here for some time now. And I do like how Sheth has managed to keep this Zergling bird over here, denying the expansion, as KiwiKaKi is too busy to really dedicate any additional time to actually trying to figure out what's up, sitting over some kind of detection. Same thing down here at this expansion for the 6 o'clock natural, denied by the Zergling. Oh, looks like I got some Zerglings and some Banelings loaded up in the Overlords here. Will they be able to catch up in time? I think they will. You see their contents are unloaded, as I think we saw one fungal though. Nope. Looks like the Infestors still are running around with all of their energy. He could actually, well, he could actually do any number of things here, but it looks like he's just going to press the attack back over towards KiwiKaKi's side of the map. Will he be able to sustain it though? So far, it's just been back and forth here in the middle with Sheth pushing a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. KiwiKaKi has a really strong fallback position here, but once these structures are taken out, it's going to be a lot harder for KiwiKaKi to hold this natural. It's already very, very high risk, or very high probability, that he's going to be losing one of these 2 expansions. Sure enough, we see it, that the Zerg player is running down here to this one. There's a decent bit of probes. You could see about, 12 or so. And what can KiwiKaKi do about this? Not a lot. He can, of course, delay the attack right there, but the Zerg player does have the high ground. The Colossus will be instrumental in actually pushing that, though. As you could see, the Zerg player is definitely intent on engaging right here, not allowing KiwiKaKi to get up here and allow all of his units to attack at once. You see several of them are very close to dying, but all the while, the Overlords are just chilling out here, wishing they had some kind of unit reinforcement they could actually drop. And now, the tables have turned. Sheth trying to push in here. Well, I was going to say for a second there, trying to push up the ramp, but nope, not going to do it. You look and see his income now. It's actually below the Protoss player, despite the fact that he does have this expansion. All right, that's looking good. He's going to have to transfer those drones over. Yeah, he's already in the process of doing that. But this expansion is starting to look a little bit down right now. He is sitting on 82 to 70. You see the big difference right there. The big honking difference is the gas. He's getting about double the gas of his opponent right now, and that's definitely going to pay off here. You see he is actually working on weapons level 2 for Zerg Flyer, and he could actually, I thought he said he had a Greater Spire, didn't he? Yeah, he's got that Greater Spire right there. So he can at any time decide to go ahead and turn those into Broodlords. He's going to have to wait for some more favorable conditions, because Stalkers obviously are able to blink in and take those out super quick, sniping them out, and then blinking back with whatever's left to safety, or just continuing the engagement right up toe-to-toe with the Roaches. Again, air superiority for Sheth, taking out that Colossus right off the bat. Nothing that KiwiKaKi can do about this at this point. All of his Blink Stalkers are busy dealing with the Roaches, who are continuing to press forward into the natural expansion there, and trying to engage again. But this time he might actually be able to pull it off. He might be able to bust through. Yes, a lot of these frontline forces are heavily damaged, but look at what KiwiKaKi has right now, and look at what Sheth has. 196 to 73 is just going to have a whole bunch of stuff barreling across the map here in just a moment. As we see 22 Zerglings, whole bunch of Broodlords sitting right here, 182 to 66, and look at that, 22 of that, or 44 of that, is actually probes. So he's got about 15 supply worth of army units right now, as Sheth continuing once again running on. Not even worry about bringing those over there. KiwiKaKi gives the GG. That's going to be game over for game number 3, best of 3 match series from MLG Columbus. FXOSheth versus KiwiKaKi. Sheth takes it 2-1. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you stay here for coverage of more MLG awesomeness. And my question for you today, why Cantaloupe be hating?